What's going on, everybody? I'm Derrick.
I'm Meesh.
I'm Doug.
And I'm the Uncle Sam, and thanks for joining the Gaming and Chill podcast.
Number 89. Today on the show, we'll be discussing what's been going on lately, No Man's Sky is finally getting multiplayer, Pokemon Go Fest in Chicago, and The Dark Knight is getting a limited IMAX release. But before we get to all that, today's episode is sponsored by Humble Bundle.
Thanks, guys. Our partner for this week's podcast is Humble Bundle. Humble Bundle is an online digital store that sells some of the most popular games from the most popular game developers. But that's not all. They also offer bundle deals that change weekly and monthly that allow you to pay a designated amount for a collection of games or ebooks that can often save you hundreds of dollars. Humble Bundle then donates portions of its proceeds to a featured charity. In addition to this awesome business model, they have also partnered with us so we get a small portion of any purchase or donation through their website. All you need to do is go to our website, scroll to the bottom of the page, and click the Humble Bundle partner logo and shop for any games of your heart's desire. Thanks, Humble Bundle. Back to you guys.
Okay, so I got something to address real fast. Doug, what is wrong with your audio sync? 8, 7, 9.
I like having strange audio syncs.
Well, the other thing is the fact that even trying to replicate the numbers he said, you still didn't do it right.
It didn't matter what I did. I was sitting there doing the whole time trying not to snicker.
Well, the fact is, the fact that I'm able to do that so fluidly with different numbers in the wrong order.
Ultimately, so let me tune you in on something about my editing. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. It's all about the clap sync.
I know. That's why I do it.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's a little. You most times you guys don't hear that, but well, you won't today. But that's a little glimpse into how we start.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, what have you been up to today?
Well, I was involved in a wedding. It was great. It was...
I'm sorry.
He objected.
No, I did not.
Conscientiously.
Conscientiously, yeah. No, it was a really nice ceremony. A little chaotic near the end, but that was just because people... Basically, everybody who wasn't in the bridal party kind of, took fair game at what they wanted to do and sat wherever they wanted to and didn't leave the bridal party their table. So it kind of just threw everything for a loop. And it was like, oh god, what do we do next? Oh, crud.
Oh, you mean that big table at the front isn't for me?
Yeah, I know.
Hey, guys, have you tried some of this cake?
No, seriously, they actually were eating, the wedding cake. Or the cupcakes in front of the wedding cake without the bride and groom. And it's okay.
I agree with wedding cupcakes, but you need at least one, a ceremonial, baking sheet cake, I don't care, to cut. Because otherwise people are just going to be like, oh, it's just a cupcake, I'm going to eat a cupcake. It's dessert. Duh. And they don't realize that's the wedding cake.
See, I want to crash your wedding, Doug. I want to actually cut the wedding cake and maybe go, oh my god, I didn't realize it was the cake, and watch everybody flip out, and then you've got a secondary cake.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, Derrick, just, get up during someone's speech and just start cutting the cake.
Remember, we've already thrown shade at Doug already about this, so...
Yeah.
What? Whoa there, man.
More backstory. Earlier, Sam was like, if you're ever involved in your sibling's wedding party, well, Doug was involved in mine. And I'm over here throwing shade going, yeah, if.
Yep.
Let's just all pick on Doug.
We generally do.
Yeah, it's fine. I eat trash.
I eat garbage.
Hey now,
fantastic.
I eat better than you now.
Okay, to be fair, what was really funny is that, our boss came in. She's like, hey, Doug, there's, a whole bunch of, garbage leftover from my
Panda
dinner.
Express.
If you want to eat it, it's in the refrigerator. And Doug's like, I will not say no to Panda Express.
It's one of
Doug
those,
should have said no.
I mean, it's not every day that you get to eat a panda.
Right?
Especially Express.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel weird about letting leftovers and food go to waste.
Why?
That's
if
true.
you don't eat it today, you can eat it tomorrow.
Yeah, but if no one else eats it...
Here's what I do.
It's a waste of resources.
So, here's what I do. I go to so we have potlucks at work. We'll have them. We'll set out all the leftover cakes, cookies, and stuff. Then in the morning, because I get there way before everyone else, I'll go, what cakes and cookies do I want? And then I get to take cakes and cookies that I want.
Well, see, my thing is, like, this week I've really found a real loving for, like, open a can of ravioli and just eat it right out of the can. Don't even warm it up. It tastes 1,000 times better that
monster.
way.
Doug, are you okay? Do you want to talk about it?
We are now accepting applications for another minute.
Doug is like, we were joking the other day. It's like, we were gonna try a video of some kind, like where Doug lives as a hobo for a week. But then we're like, well, it really isn't that much of a change from how he lives right now.
What's wrong with cold ravioli?
Actually, nothing. Cold ravioli's not the worst.
Everything.
And I disagree. It has to be warmed. Like, I mean, I don't care if you go through and set fire to a dumpster to warm it up.
But here's the thing. We're going to get into a Fallout kind of situation, and I'm going to be the only one who's just going to be like,
hey guys, Panda Express!
Right? Just like, you guys are starving, and I'm just like, guys, have you tried this jet? Have you tried this can of cram? And I'm just like, having a rusty spoon, just be like,
tetanus.
Hey Doug, what are you eating over there? Oh, I just found some dirt on the ground.
See, my favorite thing in the world is it reminds me of that Ratatouille commercial that came out years ago for the Ratatouille movie.
It
where
would have had to come out years ago.
What are you eating? Sitting there, he's like, I don't really know. You don't know when you're eating it. He's like, once you get past the gag reflex, everything's possible. It's like, what the heck, Disney?
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, what are you teaching kids?
But hey, it's called I Don't Let Food Go to Waste.
It's true.
That's a good thing, at least.
Oh, yeah.
I am like the little, crabs or lobsters of the world. I will eat all the garbage that floats to the bottom.
The bottom feeder.
Nice. Nice. So, Micah,
yeah.
what have you been up to?
Well, I Prime Day was cool, but I finally got a 3D printer. And you know the best part about getting a 3D printer? Everyone else thinks they have a 3D printer as well.
What?
Oh, I really like this to be printed. Well, that's cool. It's my 3D printer. No, man, you should totally go print this. I have a 3D printer. Cool, yeah, that's... no, I will not print that because you said so.
Wait, that's not us, is it? Wait, it's not me. I know it's not me because I've told you nothing.
It may or may not be Doug.
Yeah. Doug, as soon as I said I was ordering a 3D printer, Doug was like, oh, I'd really like one of these low-poly EVs. And so I printed one. Like, I have no issue printing things for people. I mean, if I have my projects, I'm obviously going to get them done first.
Oh, yeah.
But
it was so funny because, he's like, oh, I'll set up, a Discord channel where we can go through and we can send ideas. And Doug instantly had, 7 of them the day we opened
We
it.
didn't submit ideas. Doug did.
It was pretty awesome, though. I was like, wait, you want the helmet from...
It was
the
just
helmet
one
from
of those-
Robotech?
I got on Thingiverse because I was looking for something else. And I've actually been looking at where a 3D printer is so I can 3D print stuff for Comic-Con. And so, these things were just floating around in my head.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, either way, I mean, like I said, I'm cool printing them. I'm totally fine making 3D prints for people. But yeah, it's really fun to mess with. I need to change a few settings on it after my little calibration prints. But yeah, Prime Day was really cool, and I had $370 in Amazon points because I have their credit card, which is a bad idea for anyone who spends too much money on Amazon already. But I mean, I spend well with it. But one thing that I told myself, I was like, I'm going to save up all these points for this 3D printer. And then Prime Day came by, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And
Today's
so
Prime
I got
Day.
this 3D. I got this 3D printer for $100, which was great.
So let's talk
Nice.
about Prime Day.
Yeah.
So we went through, and it's like Mike and I were counting down, like we were gonna go to lunch, and it's like, hey, let's go through and let's see what deals are coming up because it was 15 minutes before we went to lunch.
Well, let's also say this: that lunch was less than impressive in multiple senses.
It was really disappointing. But we went through and we're like, oh, Prime Day. We went to load it up. Amazon was flat out down for 45 minutes because so many people were trying to access that silly thing.
Can you blame them?
Yeah.
But I got out of there only spending, I think it was like $100 or something like that. So it wasn't that bad.
Nice.
I spent
Yeah, I
zero.
ordered some things from like my parents, but I mean that got taken out of my car payment, so
Yeah.
it's a good deal. I mean, I got the 3D printer, which is really cool. We have some plans. I'm gonna hopefully tomorrow stream a print of the Sunshot from Destiny. I'm gonna
Nice.
stream it using my laptop and hope that everything goes through and it doesn't just end up as a pile of spaghetti. But yeah, tune into Twitch on Sunday. If you this won't even come out. Go back to Twitch and rewatch the stream.
Wait a minute. What day is this? Yeah, we're not that optimistic.
I'm
about our
probably gonna
editing
start it
abilities
around
here.
9, maybe around 8:30
PM or AM?
a.m. because
So-
I want it to be done when I get back.
So
It
let's
should take about
talk
4
about
hours.
something related to 3D printers. I sent Micah this article earlier. So apparently there was a big legal case that now you can legally download plans for 3D printed guns.
Yeah. No, I heard that. I've heard that for a while.
Yeah. I'm like, that is an awful idea, guys. Number one.
It's an awesome idea. What are you talking about?
Well, the thing is that it's like, oh, okay, cool. I mean, you make a weapon like that, and then you literally melt it down after you use it. I mean,
It's-
okay, perfect, just murder weapon that people are going through. It's like, oh yeah, that's fine. Wow, okay.
It's just pushing us to a Fallout future.
It is true, or
Here's
more
here's
like
my only
complete
thought
anarchy.
about that. It was never illegal to print a gun.
Oh yeah,
It was illegal to share the files. Well, they said it was illegal just because they couldn't
Yeah.
regulate it.
Hey,
Now-
People who have access to 3D printers aren't going to be the common street criminal. It's going to be organizations that are like, okay, let's print 80 of these guns and go to town.
yeah.
Guys,
I have a
I
question.
got a new business venture, guys. Let's print 80 guns and
Okay.
sell them. No.
I was about to ask. You know that
Delete
old
this part of the
commercial?
recording, please.
You know that old commercial where it says you wouldn't download a car? Can we get a?
But
Can
I
we
would
download
download
a
a
car?
gun.
We are getting very close to the age where we can download cars.
I'm happy
Wait.
about this.
You do know the story about the commercial, right?
No.
It was
The
a
mu-
piracy commercial.
Yeah, it was a piracy commercial, but the music on that video was pirated.
Was it really?
Yep.
That's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Hypocrisy.
Nice. Nice.
What about you guys? What did you two do?
Doug?
I went to work.
Ate Panda
Played Octopath.
Express.
Yeah, in Panda Express. I got a new beard wash.
Why is that a highlight?
Okay, what?
Shampoo for my beard because I ran out, and I'm really trying to figure out. Okay, how can I make it look less homeless Rasputin?
Fair.
Ra ra Rasputin.
Then I ordered a butterfly knife trainer. So it's
Did
like
you
a
actually
butterfly.
order it?
Yeah, I did.
We were joking. Basically, Doug and I's goal is to see how much we can get away with our team leader, no, our supervisor, because we were going through the other day. It's like, technically, if we had a butterfly trainer knife, it's not a knife, so you can't really do anything. And then she's going to hear this like constant
Clack, clack,
clicking
clack,
noise.
clack, 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 clack.
And then she's going to go like, "What the heck are you guys doing?" And it's like, well, we're training.
Not
to,
to
use
mention the
butterfly
fact
knives.
that Doug already had a police baton there.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Remember after
You were there,
one of our
Tim.
coworkers kicked
Oh,
a
yeah.
hobo?
I remember that.
Wait, after they kicked what?
Kicked a
hobo.
hobo.
They
kicked and almost ran over a hobo.
Yeah.
Better.
I want to hear this story after the podcast.
It was in self-defense, of course.
Yeah.
Oh,
naturally.
okay.
They don't just go seeking out hobos to kick.
Well, I mean,
What are you doing Saturday?
it's weasel stomping day.
It's weasel stomping.
No, but I have the collapsible baton.
Nice.
You know that, Sam. I showed it to you.
I was like, why do you have it still? Is my question.
It's at the house. It's not at my desk.
I'm just imagining you just hear
Clearly,
whackity 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 whack.
I really,
Whackity 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 whack.
I really wanted to get a lockpick kit and start working at that at my desk.
Those are really cheap.
yeah, they
Yeah,
are.
they
You
are.
mentioned someone at our work already has them.
So, random fact. Okay, I almost got. in trouble
Wait,
for
hang on
this.
1 second. One second. Doug, it sounds like your job is the Thieves Guild from Skyrim. You've got
Okay.
collapsible batons, lockpicks, knives.
Okay, that's just me, not anyone else.
The thing that's really funny is that I almost got in trouble because of the gentleman who is able to do lockpicking. I was stationed at a desk one time. I'm like, man, don't even know what's in here. It's locked. So he comes by with his lockpicking kit and literally breaks the lock in a couple of seconds. And then our CEO went by and it's like, you shouldn't be getting into that. It's like, well, we don't even know what it is. Sitting there, it's like, why is it at my desk? And it's like, oh, well, yeah, whatever. And then she closed it. She's like, we locked it back. And then 2 days later, there's like a sticker on it saying, do not open. Or like, hey, confidential information, but they misspelled confidential, which is what makes it even funnier. Next time you go by Leslie's desk, look above it, and you'll understand the comedy behind it.
That's awesome.
Nice.
But it's just one of those. I like picking up skills to learn.
Everything
It
that makes
just-
it for the Fallout future, right?
Exactly.
We tease Doug, but the moment the Fallout future, it's like, where's Doug? Where's Doug? I need to go find him.
I need Doug. Why? I gotta get into this locker that has a has an advanced lock picking requirement.
Right.
Meanwhile, you could just kick down the door.
Exactly.
The door is half a door. I'm sorry, it's locked.
Yeah. My favorite thing in Fallout is like, okay, I can literally reach through here
Yep.
and turn the knob on the other side, but I have to pick the lock.
Yup.
Yep. Oh, let's see. What did I do this week? Oh.
One quick thing, really quick.
Yeah.
Not only the fact that they're kind of okay with us having this stuff at our desk, but they've also said not to have knives, but there's members of, like, all of us that carry knives, and then they're like, okay, no guns. Sometimes someone's just going to be carrying guns, and they're going to be like, okay, that's okay. So, like, I feel like there's no stopping point.
Guys, no trebuchets. It's not a trebuchet, it's a scorpion. Let's get it right.
It's a ballista,
Yeah,
come
it's
on.
a ballista, thank you.
It's a catapult. Oh, gosh.
Sir, this is a black powder cannon. I will thank you very much to back up off my desk.
This is America, and I have the right to bear arms here. Sir, those are actual bear arms. You bet they
Excuse me, are those Wolverine
They've got like little
claws?
razor
Why do you
blades on
have
the
those
claws.
here?
You somehow made them more deadly.
Libraries.
Wait a minute.
Like,
I got an idea. What if you
Like
got
dope.
giant actual Wolverine claws, like the animal Wolverine, but then on those claws you attached Marvel's Wolverine claws, so you've got double Wolverine claws. We thank you, not to mention Sabretooth.
I'm
again.
referencing BBC's Animals, where the two otters are
Except
going
unless
at it.
you're referencing X-Men Evolution
Sabretooth.
Sabretooth.
Wolverine, Sabretooth.
I'm Wolverine. I'm Sabretooth.
Right. So let's see what I did this week. Streamed.
Hey.
I switched over my eating habits. I am now
Neat.
no longer strictly no carb.
Hey,
I
now we
am,
can say
now
no more
working on
turtles were
just
harmed
keeping
in the
count of my
making of this
calories.
podcast.
And no turtles.
Yeah, no turtles.
what?
Oh, you weren't here.
You would have had to be
There we go.
It was last week's podcast, Sam.
Oh,
Remember?
I know.
You'd have to listen to it.
I was confused. I was sitting there like, wait.
Yeah,
what?
I was the one that looked at Doug, and I was like, he does know that there are
yeah, doing that. Then I
scantily
played the
actually
forest today.
no-clad females,
Hey.
right?
Hey.
Indigenously.
Yes, and okay. Here's my entire resting piece. It is indigenous. So in the forest, there are cannibals. They're like natives of the area, and some of them don't have any clothing on, and you can see that. And I'm like, okay, it's not done in a sexual nature. It is more of an indigenous nudity, like National Geographic has. They're like, no, let's show this African tribe on primetime television.
That's you have a valid point there, but it's also
for
one of the community
any
type
sort of
things where you're just
gratification.
like, okay,
So I was
will
like,
Twitch
I'm okay
be
with
mad
it.
at me for streaming this because there's topless females.
No. No, their Twitch's guidelines, as far as I know, is, hey, the sexual it's not focused on that. Like, I can't go and play House Party, which is like, let's go meet up and get with chicks, the game, and it's like, no. It's because the forest is not centralized. So anybody who does Twitch, here's a fun story. Here's a fun fact.
I read
So
it
it's
for
like
the
if
article.
it's not focused on that, on sexualization of the female or male form. You say that. Fun trivia. They do sell a work-safe Playboy e-magazine that has only the articles, because actually some of the articles were good enough to make it.
How do you
Because-
know this?
Because it was a huge thing, like everybody, dude. Okay, and also
Go on.
I used to live in Las Vegas,
That's the uncle
and my
you stay
uncle
away
was
from.
into that sort of thing.
We all had that uncle that's into
So it was
that
a
sort of
joke.
thing.
It was the joke that
Wait a minute. So you have a daughter. I have a question. You have a daughter. Does that make me the uncle? That's that?
Doug, you ate Panda Express and cold ravioli. Yeah, I think it does. Here, kid, you want a stick of butter?
Here, kid, let's go get you a tattoo.
Don't worry, it's good for it's in there stick of butter.
Hey, it's
it's good
Podcat.
for you. Hey, Podcat's back.
Yay, podcast. All right, let's get into the main topics. 'Cause
Yes, let's.
We've been ranting for 25 minutes, basically. Okay, so the first story is No Man's Sky is finally getting multiplayer.
Hey,
Do you care?
I kind of do.
At first, I was really excited about this, and then I went through and looked at what that's actually going to get people, and was like, that's really dumb.
No Man's Sky Battle Royale.
Well, they're also getting ready to update No Man's Sky Next, which will put it on the Xbox.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I already own No Man's Sky and still do. I kept it. I never sold it.
You believed in it when it didn't believe in anyone else.
No, I just didn't think to sell it. Um,
I just was too lazy to go buy GameStop.
you don't know that, and yes. So I'm actually thinking about next weekend possibly streaming it and saying, "Hey, let's talk about No Man's Sky. Like it's a valid game now. Let's go through and figure it out." You know.
Wow, Podcat is really excited about this topic.
So you guys have never played No Man's Sky, right?
See, the thing about No Man's Sky is I almost bought it. Like, we used to have a guy that worked with us, his name was Josh. I'm like, you know what? This looks like a pretty nice game. I'm going to go through, and he was telling me about it, and he came up to me, he's like, there's no point to it. It's like, what? There literally was no reason to play it.
It's like Minecraft. You must have hated that.
It's like Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's like, are you kidding me right now? So I'm like, I really don't want to buy this. At this
beautiful
point in
is
time.
one word.
So I was really excited when it's like, oh,
Interesting.
multiplayer. It's like, maybe this game, which, by the way, it's a beautiful game.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's like huge. Well, I mean, bright colored and for the most part, like, very cheerful looking. And it actually is open, like, complete open universe, open world. It's like, man, this is really fascinating, but there was really no purpose behind it. And I thought maybe with multiplayer, it's like, oh, you can get purpose. And all I saw in this article was them talking about how, yeah, you can now get a fleet of freighter spaceships and have up to 4 people hang out with you. It's like, no weapons, no fighting, no...
Well, they've done a bunch of, in the previous updates, they've done a bunch of the fighting and weapon stuff. They added
with
vehicles.
each other, though, like, oh, apparently you can't attack, it doesn't give any information about attacking other players or anything like that. It's like, oh, okay.
I think it'll happen. I'm gonna look for. I look forward to it. Look, I looked forward to the original release, and then when I played it for about 8 hours and was like,
Nope.
and never sold it. Honestly, I joke, but it is kind of like Sea of Thieves. Like, Sea of Thieves is fun for a little while, and then you go, but why? And then eventually, like, maybe when it comes out with all the DLC and stuff, it'll be like, okay, let's go do that. I really want to do that for Extra Life, actually.
See, let me tell you something. In order to get Octopath for my Switch, I actually sold Sea of Thieves.
Fair enough. I don't blame
I
you.
do not judge you for it at all.
See,
I got
my theory is...
so mad, by the way, about that because
Really?
I bought it through Microsoft, and it's like,
You
sweet,
sure?
I bought it through Microsoft.
You
and
did
then
it
they're
wrong,
like, oh,
Sam.
nope, you got to buy it for the Xbox as well. When I got
Because
my
it's
Xbox,
an Xbox
even though
Play
I logged
Anywhere
in
game.
with the same email and information.
So even buying it
Yeah.
on Windows, as long as you log in with your Windows ID or Microsoft ID.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Okay,
Well, I
go
did.
sell the one copy
I still
and
don't
get
have
your
it. Maybe
one
I have
back.
to activate Xbox Live.
You probably do.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, got it.
See, my theory is, if they come out and all the DLC, and some of the DLC does look cool with like enemy frigates and stuff.
Mhm.
If next year they're like, yeah, it's the full definitive edition, Pirates Chest Edition, Pirates Booty Edition, yeah, I'll be like, okay, yeah, I'll look into it. But as of right now, like,
It was just taking up space on a shelf.
yeah, pretty much, it was free money to get Octopath Traveler.
Fair enough. I can add.
Oh, which, hey, by the way, Sam, speaking of games that have no point unless played multiplayer, guess what we got? We might try to do soon.
But you should be more ashamed that you have it and haven't played it.
You're not talking about Minecraft, are we?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
There is 2.
I literally have this game, and I just do not care. There's no point to Minecraft at all.
Here's the thing. Well, I got the 30-day realm, so we can all play. We don't even have to be on at the same time, but we can actually play it, all 4 of us. Even if we're on different platforms. I'd be playing on my Switch. And we can even play with Tyler from Better Than Static. Stream it. It's just a nice, chill community game. Up to 10 people.
Except for Sam, who's like yelling at things in the
No,
background.
Sam will
He's
be
"Why
Sam
are
will
we
be
playing
like
the
the
crazy
stupid
old
Ice
man on
Age
the hill going,
the-
"Why
the-
you
whatever,
kids?"
where the
Back
guy-
in my day,
I'm
we
gonna
didn't
stay
play
in this
useless
world. This is where I was
games.
born. This is where I'm gonna die. Sam, you're already in the game. This is where I'm gonna die.
Oh yeah. Yep. I would like to see No Man's Sky have really good multiplayer, because I would love to do something multiplayer in the game. Like, to be able to just fly around space and to do different things on different planets, and that would be so cool to do that with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's so much potential, and that's the thing with the original No Man's Sky. Like, there's so much potential, and then they blew it.
Yeah.
They didn't
They
like
had servers that
what
would kill
servers were
anything
down.
else. Because
They
I mean,
just
to run
flat
all of that
out
in multiplayer, like those
blew it.
servers were massive.
I was like,
And it wasn't even. It was just like, oh yeah. Usually the problem with any online game is the server. No, it was just horribly executed.
the game.
Yeah.
So I look forward to what they're doing because I want to give them a chance because I love the idea that they were trying to sell and they were trying to do, but
They just didn't get off the ground.
But on that, is there other games that you think that really done that?
I mean, I feel like
Okay, to
Destiny
clarify,
has the tendency.
Done what? Just clarify
Like
what
Star
we're asking
Wars
here.
Battlefront 2.
They launched. They had so much hype at launch, and they launched, and you're like,
Yeah,
This
I mean,
is what you
I'm
were
fully
selling.
capable of admitting it.
Diablo.
Destiny 2.
Diablo 2, when they went through and they released that one and they had the servers crash for a full 24 hours and then everybody was pissed off and like, well, you know.
was
it
that
okay.
Diablo 2 or 3?
It might be 3. Yeah, 3. Sorry.
Okay. I remember that. Like it was
What,
not.
Destiny? No, I didn't say
I
Destiny.
can think of a
said
bigger
Star
one.
Wars Battlefront 2.
But Doug, you said
That was a
did you also
huge-
say it, Micah? About Destiny?
So, yeah, I mean, Battlefront 2 had a
Oh,
whole
I
bunch
remember
of stuff
that.
leading
I
up
want to
to
hear
it.
about
Oh,
Battlefront
you
2,
can buy this
and then we'll
play
go
3
to
days
Destiny,
early.
and then we'll go
Oh,
to
it's gonna be
mine
really
that
cool.
I have.
And then the
So,
microtransaction crap went through, and then it basically just killed the fan base. Like, it killed it before it even released the full game.
Overnight. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that. That was like going to be one of our first projects we all worked on
Yeah.
together.
We had went through
And
and I had already recorded the first one. I think it's still up on YouTube. And then it was like,
It is.
nope, I'm not going to go through and I'm not going to pay for this. It's like, it took, I think they estimated you would have to play for a full, 2 weeks of game time before you got Darth Vader. And basically, it's like everybody else could pay $15 to unlock his character instantly. And they're like, oh, okay. And then the prices for everything was outrageous. And it's like, no, we don't want to do that. So a bunch of YouTube people like Linus from Linus Tech Tips and PC Master Race were like, yeah, no, we're going to boycott you until you do
It got
something
the
about it.
European,
And it had such a
Gaming
big
Commission
influence that they
in on
basically
it
came
as
out
well,
and said,
and I'm
oh,
like,
we
that,
don't,
to
you
get
don't have to do this.
legal
No, everybody gets it.
authorities
Cool.
messing with your, that has to say something.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, I'm okay with cosmetic things. If it wasn't, Darth Vader, but it was, battle damage Darth Vader from, Mustafar or whatever. I don't really, that kind of stuff doesn't
if you
bother me.
That's fine.
But to unlock Darth Vader as a whole is you mean, you could show Darth Vader to anybody in the world, and they'll be like, Darth Vader, he's from Star Wars. You mean Darth Vader. Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was what was yours, Doug?
Destiny 2. When it came out, it was fun to play, it was great, and then, you beat the campaign, and it was just now what?
And now what?
Yeah, I mean, so there wasn't a whole lot of end goal, and even I'll say, even now, unless you're into PvP, there's still not a whole lot. You finish up the Warmind, you finish up Curse of Osiris, and you're just okay, I'm waiting on Forsaken now, so that's not gonna be get played on my Xbox for a while.
I'll be honest, I'm not a big PvP person anyway.
See, I am in certain instances, I love to play fighting games online, even though I suck, ironically enough. I love playing, Injustice 2 on my Xbox, and, go fight against other people, because I always beat my face in, and it's so cool to watch.
Let's go watch Doug get his face beat in, guys.
That, Splatoon.
You're really
Huge.
good at Splatoon.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm good at Splatoon, but it's one of those, huge... It's not just about the kills. It's about accomplishing the goal, which nobody on Overwatch knows how to do.
Fair.
So what was yours, Derrick?
I have one to trump
No
you
Man's
all.
Sky.
No, I have one to trump you all
Yeah.
that you all haven't thought about.
What's up?
Grand Theft Auto 5.
Disagree.
Here's why. When it first released, online didn't work. One can arguably say the only thing keeping Grand Theft Auto alive is the online play. So for almost a good 2 to 3 months, online didn't work. Do you know how bad that is for GTA? And look at them now. They're releasing another pack soon. Another let's give you some more DLC for free. So they pulled it out of, oh my god, our half of our game doesn't even work.
Well,
Arguably,
here's the thing,
the
though.
best
GTA
half of the
has always
game
been
doesn't
one
even
of those
work.
games that you can play the story
And now
and you
look
can
at
keep
them.
playing the story, and you don't need online. GTA Online only got super big in GTA 5, and I say that because, I mean, I've played all the other GTAs, and all the other GTAs were very good in their story. They didn't need extra online DLCs and stuff, and when they're added, cool. But it's good on their move to add more DLCs now, even though whatever happened at the beginning with their online, because their actual story is a very long, very decent story that you can still continue after you're done with the full main missions. And so I would disagree with your biggest flop argument solely on...
Well, we kind of originally started out as biggest flop to maybe contender. Because Destiny is contending now. But I get what you're saying, yeah. I think I worded it wrong then about flop.
I'm with Meesh. I remember growing up seeing GTA and all the gaming magazines. It's ooh, it was the game.
Well, I think...
And like you said, it wasn't until 5 online came out, and then it only got big with YouTube and Twitch communities, where it's yeah, we can literally just hang out, drive around, and do nothing, and it's still fairly entertaining.
Well,
to be fair, Doug just wanted to go through and beat up prostitutes.
Well, I mean, for me, the biggest reason I got into GTA 5 the first time on my PlayStation 3...
The best part is he didn't deny it.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that's very fun. I'm not going to deny that. But, I moved back from Kentucky to Tennessee, and so, one of my best friends I couldn't hang out with. But when I was here, we'd always, drive around, and for those of you who don't know, I used to smoke. We used to drive around, get slushies from, Thornton's or Speedway, and, just drive around and, hang around Louisville. And so that was, a really cool memory. And then I moved, and then we started playing GTA. We just, throw on Skype, throw on, whatever on this, radio, and just drive around Los Santos, or wherever GTA 5 is. I always forget the name. Los Santos. And just drive around chit-chat. And they're just oh, sweet, let's go hold up this gas station. And then we'd do that. And then, we'd jump back in the car, evade the cops for, 20 minutes, and then just get back to, yeah, man, so, this happened, yeah. Dang, that sucks. And so it was one of those, it wasn't about the game, it was a facilitator, which is what I think GTA 5 is now, especially if you look at big communities like even the Rooster Teeth community, where it's not necessarily groundbreaking material, them doing, jumps and stunts. They're still having fun harassing each other and setting muggers on each other and just having a good time in the game.
I'll 100% agree with you, but...
it could have been anything for them. It could have been Sea of Thieves. It could be No Man's Sky. It just happened to be that. And so
my
GTA didn't need
was, it would have flopped unless they had fixed it. Because that was the biggest selling point for 5. Hey guys, you can play online with your friends.
Let's talk about that. That was the biggest
heists,
disappointment of a game whatsoever. Was Duke
2 years
Nukem Forever.
Later. So they sold
that was
it as
pretty
one
bad.
thing, and then they're
Aliens
it
game
doesn't have it. So then they managed to pull it out of the nosedive. That's, I think... there's a lot of flop games. God.
And it was, repetitive over and over again. And on top of that, it wasn't even that good of mechanics.
It's Colonial Space Marines. For me, it was Colonial Marines, actually.
You take that back.
It was supposed to be like Left 4 Dead, but the aliens, and then it was oh, no, it's not. Okay. I don't...
You take
Woo.
that back.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Left 4 Dead's not exactly poetry,
Oh yeah.
but I was like, now Left 4
Left 4
Dead
Dead's
2.
still the only game that give me serious anxiety.
I can understand that. Anything about No Man's Sky? Anything else? Anything related to it? Nope. Okay. Let's go on to Pokemon Go. So they are really doing well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chicago wasn't a disaster this year.
Do
Yeah.
you wish you would have went?
I do.
Fair.
Because I remember you and your wife were in Chicago during that time.
Yes, I.
And it was just like-
we missed it by 1 day.
Yeah, I was like, wow, that was a disaster.
Yeah, we were kind of glad we got out of there. Do we want to talk about what happened last year,
Lot.
so we can talk about what happened this year? For
Yeah,
those
we
who
can
don't
briefly
know,
run it.
Okay.
We can briefly run it down.
So last year they promised a bunch of stuff like VIP area and raids and stuff like that, and none of that happened. They
Yeah, and
just
mind you, this was when they were just putting out raid battles. So
Yeah.
that was a big reason for it. Was it was going to be the first raid battle.
and it just didn't work. Like the internet went down. They even had extra cell towers put up. Went down.
No, they didn't have extra cell towers is the problem.
I thought they
There's-
had a
no,
couple
there's-
auxiliary ones. I thought they had a
They
couple.
had a couple of them, but they didn't have enough. And on top of that, their servers all crashed because it was their end. It wasn't anything to do with the network, which was really depressing because it's like, oh, you could have blamed it on something else, but it's like, no, it was literally.
You could have blamed
Niantic's fault.
AT&T.
Exactly.
I think I remember saying that. Like, can you imagine being the guy in the server room? It's just like, oh man, today is going to be a good day. Oh my god, why are the servers on fire?
like alarms going off. It's like, oh crap!
It's like that gif of the dude in the yellow suit with all the buttons flashing in the spacesuit, and he's just pushing everything that he can with his face and all the arms going crazy.
Yeah.
And it's at that point you wonder, do I commit seppuku or chew on a 45? What's going on? Do I go for the honorable or no, just go for it?
So, that's what was happened last year. Doug, why don't you tell us about this year? You are, I would say, the only one as into Pokemon Go on this podcast. I mean, my wife is super into Pokemon Go, but you're on this podcast. Tell me.
I wouldn't say I'm the biggest of us all. I did spend money on super incubators today.
So you're the biggest one of us all.
Yeah, put anything into it.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. So they had the special raid areas, and they did have VIP lounge and team lounges. So it wasn't just like a giant lounge. It was, okay, here's Team Valor, here's Team Mystic, here's Team Instinct. And they got a whole crap ton of cell towers. Everything was done, I would say, flawlessly. Because I didn't, like, I'm on the Pokemon Go Reddit all the time. There wasn't like a, oh
don't know
my
if I
god,
find
I
that
want my
sad
money
or not.
back. I mean, I'm part of like a community and stuff like that because I have been done community days and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those, seeing the community not blow up and hate everything that they did is actually kind of cool.
Fair enough.
You know, and like I said, today I have had 9 eggs because you can only hold up to 9 eggs. So I was just like, I'm gonna drop $10. I'm gonna get super incubators, take my 10k eggs and make them like 2k eggs, and I'm just gonna get everything cleared. Because then, like, the 5 people who send me gifts every day, if I get those, eggs, I'd hatch them immediately.
Fair enough.
And it's just fun to play because I do have the Pokemon Go Plus. So, every day morning routine, wake up, do the shower routine, get in my car, start it up, turn on Pokemon Go, put on my Pokemon Go Plus, put on
Drive
my...
very slowly.
Actually, I can hit, on average, about 8 Pokestops with gifts. So I'm, hitting 10, 15 maybe on the way to work.
Nice.
And so it's just like, okay, drive along, putt along, and get my stops, catch Pokemon, hatch my eggs, get to work, evaluate them, gripe about how I got a 17 IV really cool Pokemon, but it's useless. And then, on occasion, walk over across the street. We have a couple gyms within walking distance of work, and it's just, kind of fun. Kind of a way to break the monotony of, I'm just driving to work. No, I'm catching Pokemon and listening to an audiobook. I'm on my lunch break. Well, besides my can of cold ravioli, I can run over to the courthouse and,
I want to
beat the
vomit
gym.
every time you say that.
Cool. I will film myself eating cold ravioli and send it to you every day.
Stay tuned, people.
See, the best part is that if you went over to the library across the street from where we worked, I'm pretty sure you could ask one of the dudes over there for a thing of ravioli and hand it to you, saying, "Yeah, I eat it like this all the time."
Yeah. But it's just one of those. It's kind of a nice thing because theoretically, if I was ambitious, I could walk over to Shimps and get candy. I could, walk. If I decide, hey, it's after work, I picked up overtime and I get off at 5, I can walk down to one of the other, gastropubs, eat dinner, if I so chose, and, sit there and spin the gym every few minutes. It's just nice.
Fair enough. Anybody else have anything to add to Pokemon Go?
Nope.
Nope.
We're good.
Okay, last story. The Dark Knight's 10th anniversary gets special 70mm IMAX release.
Okay.
Yes.
I would like to go on record and basically address this issue.
You do it, Sam.
The Dark Knight was already released in IMAX originally when it came out. It is
Yeah.
a re-release of IMAX because I went to see it in IMAX when it first came out, which is the main reason that I know this.
Can I have a thought on it after Doug?
Yes.
And after Meesh. I'll go last if you have thoughts about it.
Dark Knight is a perfect IMAX re-release because it was a solid film. There's some very few pacing issues, and once you've watched it as many times as I have, it's just like, okay, it's kind of like, let's pick this up. But I remember watching it keenly for the first time in the patio room at school, and I don't think Sam and Meesh, you have the full concept of what the patio room was and how hard it was to get everyone to shut up and watch a DVD. You're familiar with the Carver building down at the bottom of the hill, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that giant room that's right off the patio?
Yeah.
And it has the TVs? That was the only place big enough to hold everyone to watch a movie like that. So we had to drag a DVD player from down upstairs, plug it in, and just pretty much yell at people to shut up when we're trying to watch Dark Knight.
Nice.
And so it was just this whole community experience of, here's guys that I never see, yet we're all just oh my god, so enraptured. And arguably, I would say Heath Ledger's acting more than Christian Bale's.
Oh, yeah, it was. Now, the thing is I'm not mad at the re-release. It's just the way that they're targeting it. It's it's 70mm special release. It's no, it was shot in 70mm. I saw it shot in 70mm when it first came out. It's just right now they're trying to make more money on the 10th anniversary, and it's let's just say we're re-releasing it for the 10th year anniversary instead of trying to go through and get all the hipsters starting out on this. Oh, it's in 70mm. Yeah, it originally was.
Yeah. We're gonna put it out on Blu-ray. Okay, I remember it being on Blu-ray.
Here's my thoughts on Dark Knight. I watched it again recently. It is a slow movie.
Okay, it is.
So I was watching it going, I think I fell asleep and was oh, no, I didn't miss anything.
And the first time you watch it...
First time I watched it, it was amazing. I'll agree. First time I also watched it, the dark, what was the last one?
Dark Knight Rises?
Was that it?
Yep.
Yeah, that one. When I first watched it, that one was good too. So my point is the only people who will go lose their mind and go see Dark Knight in 70mm IMAX release for this 1 week is the people who are Nolan fanboys. I gotta be honest.
I'm gonna go watch just to spite you.
So it's like the people who are like, you gotta see Dunkirk in IMAX, and it's like, I don't gotta do anything.
Dunkirk was okay. I won't even get into that. Movie.
Here's what I'm gonna do, guys. I'm gonna get a can of cold ravioli and eat it in the Dark Knight IMAX.
I'm eating beans.
I'm not even like I'm not bashing on the Dark Knight. It's not the. Some people pin it as like the world's greatest movie, right? Next,
No, that's like Star Wars Episode 1.
Right next to Inception. When people are like, Inception is the something.
No,
there's something about Christopher Nolan's films where it's like, if you're pretentious, you'll say that they're the best movies ever, and it's like, no, they're not. They are not. Dunkirk is not the best war movie. I'm sorry, it's not.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't even a okay.
Mulan was the best war movie.
It wasn't even, you could argue, a war movie. It was a drama about an historical event that took place in the war.
But the way you'd hear people carry on about it, and you're like, I don't care about this. Like,
Yeah, it certainly wasn't The Last Samurai.
It wasn't any. It wasn't Hercules,
okay,
guys.
don't you hate on The Last Samurai? That's one of my favorite movies, man.
So it's just one of those, like, for some reason, Christopher Nolan's movies, I think that they've done a lot of good, but I think they also done a lot of bad.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for The Dark Knight, for one reason. Because everyone then thought, hey, now we have to make Nolan-styled superhero movies that are dark and gritty. Because Batman was dark and gritty.
See,
so everyone thought, now we need to make every movie dark and gritty.
Yeah, but with Christopher Nolan movies, the thing about it is that I have this feeling like they're meant to be watched once. Whereas, like, you have people that are going through, like, I'm going to watch this 1,000,000 times. And it's like, no, I remember sitting in watching The Dark Knight for the first time and walking away from it being, that was a great movie. Now, that being said, I bought it on Blu-ray. I went through and I watched it again. And again, and again, and again. And then it's like, each time it loses a little more of its luster. So, the way that he designs it, it's like, just make it good once, for a viewing once, and then you can go back to it. Like with Inception, you're like, man, that was a great movie, and I didn't understand any of it. But when you go through and you watch it like 12 more times trying to figure out what's going on, you're like, wow.
So it's kind of like the reverse of Starship Troopers, where I can watch that movie like every week and it's still awesome.
See, my question is, has Kelly said anything about this? Like,
not yet. Not yet.
No, she's still waiting to get us coordinated for the intervention, so...
She's just like, well, as long as he's not eating cold ravioli.
It's just one of those, like, I'll agree with, like, it loses luster rather rapidly. Like, I watched Interstellar once, and that was a good movie. I watched Interstellar twice, and I was like,
this was really long.
It's like, I really got to go to the bathroom. And see, like, the thing is, like, there's a lot of movies that I can think of that they do really well, but then if you watch them again, because of the twists, they're no longer good.
Shutter Island.
Ex Machina.
Oh, yeah.
Lady and the Tramp.
Haha. It's like, so can I talk about Ex Machina as a way of describing what I mean?
Only if I can talk about Up.
That's fine. So with Ex Machina, like, it tells you, like, so I'm not spoiling it for you, but it tells you exactly what is going to happen. It spells it out, and you're like, the whole movie you're going, oh, maybe it's not true, maybe it's not, and at the end of the movie you're like, oh my god, they told us the truth. You watch it again, you're like, oh my god, why am I watching this movie? There's literally no suspense. They tell you exactly what's happening in the film. So, like, it's like when, in The Dark Knight, when Commissioner Gordon dies, you're going, and the first time you're going, oh, wow, I didn't see that coming. Like, I genuinely didn't see that coming. And then he comes back, and you're like, oh my god, thank god, I was wondering how they were going to ratify that to the comic. You watch it again, you're like, I don't care. I know he's alive. I don't care. This doesn't feel sad.
So, there is one movie that I will argue is a lot better after you get the twist and you go back and watch it again.
Willow.
Hot Rod.
The Prestige.
The Book of Eli.
Oh, yeah.
I sat there, I literally almost fell out of my chair in the theater when they gave that twist. I'm like, I have to watch this again. Because it's like, if that was the case, so much more of this movie made sense.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that one. But it's just one. I don't know. Maybe it's just me being a cynic or not being able to suspend belief. But it's like, I already know the twist. I don't care.
I don't want to go back and pay, what is it for IMAX theater tickets, like $15 a pop? For
Well, see, here's the thing. For me, I have Movie Pass. I have 3 free movies saved up, along with 2 apology. Like when me and my fiance went to go see Deadpool, the movie skipped in the middle. It's like there's a black screen. We sat there for like 5 minutes. We're like, okay, if this is actually planned, but come on.
That seems like something they would totally do in the middle of the movie.
Then we're walking out. They completely fixed it. We're walking out. They're like, here's a free movie voucher. So now at this point, I have 5 free movies saved up. It's like, okay, so next weekend we're gonna go see Ant-Man and the Wasp, maybe Jurassic Park. Get a double feature going.
Nice.
But so if it was IMAX, just I already have a movie ticket, and now I just pay $3 extra and got IMAX. Okay.
I personally don't like IMAX. I'm just be honest. It's just too much. I don't want to have to move my head when I'm looking at the movie.
That
I want to
is
be able
fair.
to sit back, lock my head into the seat, and then just enjoy the ride. I don't want to have to be like, oh, look at the top left-hand corner that I have to completely turn my body to see.
I'm with you with an addition of one thing. I want to also be able to turn off my brain. Pacific Rim Uprising, fantastic movie. I would pay to watch that again in theaters. Why? Because I can turn off my brain and just watch giant robots fighting.
Well, and I want to make a rebuttal on the Interstellar comment. Interstellar is a movie that you have to watch at least 2 or 3 times before you really get the depth of what happened in the movie. Because the first time you watch it, you're just like, oh, yeah, this is cool, this is awesome, and then the next time you watch it, you're like, okay, so this makes that connection here, and this actually points to the end of the movie during the beginning of the movie, and you don't have enough time to sit and process through the whole movie.
I think about time travel way too much, I think, because I was like, oh, that's cool. It connects here. I was making those connections at the end of the movie going, this connects to that?
Yeah, but it's something that the second time you're like, oh, this is truly that connection. And then the third time you're like, you can finally appreciate the soundtrack.
Or you can be like me and not watch it. And then everyone else tells you what happens. I can save myself easily 7 hours. Well, if you have to watch it 3 times, 7 hours minimum. I can watch Starship Troopers in that time.
I know.
I can do
that's the thing, Doug. You could
want.
watch Starship Troopers, which has its own value. Or you could watch Interstellar and kind of perplex the mind. Or, counterpoint, you could just watch Hot Rod even more.
Or, counterpoint, go back to Starship Troopers. Or Godzilla.
Starship Troopers with ravioli.
With director's commentary.
Ooh, I haven't watched the director's commentary yet this year.
I'll be honest, I have not done it with director's commentary. So
I need to look it up, see if I can.
Do this.
Don't mind me.
Well, I think that's
Buy 6 hours of the director's time just so you could sit there and watch the movie with him and have a Mystery Science Thief 3000.
Now,
with myself.
When you did this, what did you mean? That would be great. So I can imagine the Dark Knight Rises Dark Knight IMAX release. It's going to do well for the people who are all about Nolan.
Yep.
People who are like, everything Nolan makes is the world's greatest. And it's like...
In the 4 cities that it's being released in.
Yeah. I can think of a few people who would travel for it. And I'm like... I just can't get it. It's just, I would travel for a Daft Punk concert, not a Nolan film. I gotta be honest.
Nope, I can't watch it with the director's commentary.
How about you tweet the director then?
You know what? I will.
Let's
I'll
actually tweet Casper Van Dien and say, "Hey, can you give us a commentary like as we're watching this? It would be awesome. We'll pay you $20 an hour."
Would you like to know more?
20 bucks an hour to Casper Van Dien.
Hey,
But he's gonna
Seen that
guys.
for like 40 years.
Hey guys, I mean, to be fair,
To be fair,
he was in the Deadpool music video.
to a musical, yeah.
Anyway, I think that's about it for this week. Do you guys have anything else?
I think I'm good.
I
Think
think
I'm good.
I'm okay.
Doug?
Are you sure?
I'm good.
Okay. All right, folks. Thank you so much for joining us this week on the Gaming and Chill podcast. We really appreciate you. And we'll see you next week. Have a good one.
Stay frosty.
Eat your ravioli.
Yeah, don't do that. Do not do anything that Doug does, please. Unless living is something that Doug does. Please live, but...
I barely do.
Thanks, guys. And thank you to all of our listeners out there, because we really couldn't do it without you. We hope you enjoyed this week's Gaming and Chill podcast. If you'd like to know more about the podcast, follow us on social media, or learn how to support the podcast directly, check us out at www.gamingandchillpodcast.com. Also, be sure to stay up to date with Gaming and Chill by following us on Twitter at gaming_in_chill. Yes, that is gaming_in as in Nancy _chill. You can also find links to the articles, games, and videos mentioned in this podcast in the description below. Thanks again for watching, and until next time.